tonight on Conversations with Michael Eisner, the business of entertainment in the City of Angels. The many faces of a rock and roll demon.
Gene Simmons is a phenomenon. The businessman, the promoter, and the advertising executive, and the internet executive, he's surprising.
Our venture does the worldwide branding marketing for the IndyCar series. We're about to be hired by the NHL. The country of Turks and Caicos is about to hire us to do their branding marketing.
NBC Entertainment co-chairman, Ben Silverman.
Ben Silverman is a young executive, is running NBC programming in an environment completely different than when I ran programming for ABC. He is in a somewhat decaying industry in broadcast television with many, many competitors and too few great writers and too few great ideas.
The Office was a show that I fell in love with and, thought it was just a brilliant piece of entertainment and was arrested by what was going on the screen and its kind of faux documentary.
And Los Angeles Mayor, Antonio Villaraigosa.
Mayor Villaraigosa is electric. He's really taken the city by storm. He cares about the environment. He understands the education problem, cares about the diversity of the city. He was a rising star of the Latino community until he had a little bit of a marital problem, and now he's become a tabloid mayor. Are you prepared for them following you around like they follow all celebrities?
I asked for this job.
You knew it was coming.
I asked for this job, and I'm very honored to be the mayor of this town.
Ben Silverman is running 100-yard dash morning, noon, and night. He has a pretty good track record of smelling out shows that have been at least successful outside the United States and adapting them for broadcast in the United States. He discovered and adapted The Office for NBC.
Give me one good reason why I shouldn't fire you right here on the spot. I have excellent sales numbers.
Ugly Betty for ABC.
I work here.
Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? And
Thank you very much, everybody.
The Biggest Loser.
Ready? Get set, go!
So he knows what he's doing. Ben Silverman is now charged with running NBC programming, trying to take NBC from last place to first place. I did that in the 70s at ABC. I know what he's up against, and it was kind of fun. So it's even harder for him than it was in my day, but it is the same industry. And he has the same problem that all young executives that have had that job, from Irving Thalberg in the movies to Barry Diller to Brandon Tartikoff to Ben Silverman. I really appreciate you coming on because of any interview I've done, this is the most interesting for me because 30 years ago, I had a similar job at ABC. You being responsible for all of programming for the NBC television network in a time of real change is interesting. And you've been doing it now, what, 6 months?
A little less, started in June.
So are you in shell shock?
You know what? It's a massive gig, but I'm totally into it. I love it, and the power of a network, a real network.
Well, how about the power of everybody kissing your ass?
You know what? All day long.
Amazing?
Well, it's the chair.
Dentist, doctor, the doorman, parking.
More scripts pitched, more ideas. Oh yeah, constantly. Well, that part's great, but I always kind of anticipated that being part of one of the 4 networks. But on the workload thing, it's enormous. I mean, every night we're on, whether you show up to the office or not.
It was the most difficult job I ever had. There was no moment that you had to rest.
The competition that exists today for the attention of our audience and consumer, who I think is separated into demographic patches, but also is just so much vying for them in terms of, forget just online, but even within the television landscape, you're in a 50-50 world just when you divide cable and broadcast. So already I'm after one half the audience, and then there are these new networks, and there's so many outlets competing on top of the television for them. So it's definitely interesting.
You come from a background where your parents were in the business. Your mother was in the industry, your father was in the music industry. So you've always wanted to do this?
Always wanted to do it.
Did you know you were going to be like a program selector person?
I always wanted to be a person who would influence the outcome, because having the artist father and having the executive mother, I liked her rhythms a lot more than his rhythms in terms of how they controlled their own job opportunity. The artist was definitely on the hook to the executive most of the time, and mom definitely paid for more of college than dad.
You were considered one of the really great young agents.
Thank you.
All the agents were telling me get this guy. This guy is really on fire. He works 23 hours a day.
Well, I think, you know, part of that was actually getting closer to the talent. I think identifying and having the opportunity within the agency world to be primary relationship with the talent and, you know, directly related to the talent. But also I went after it in London and New York, kind of further afield, where it really was an entrepreneurial platform. And William Morris kind of gave me this great opportunity to reach out to anybody in any business in New York and London and develop really unique relationships.
So your first big hit, where people started to recognize that Ben Silverman was a person to watch, was when you went to London and started to smell out, oh, hey, there's a show called Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Hey, there's a show called The Office. Hey, there's a show called, you know, Survivor or whatever.
Totally. There was a period where if it had an accent, I was usually involved in its translation into
America. And were you
America.
the first one? Although, in my day, All in the Family had come from
Absolutely.
England.
Normally, All in the Family, Steptoe and Son, which became Sanford and Son. There was a number of, and Three's Company, you know, was also based on Man About the House. All of those did come from the UK.
So you started off finding the reality shows, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? But then you moved into seeing a show like The Office had great potential, and you did that really alone. That was you, right?
Yeah. Well, I think that in analyzing the market, I tried to sell a lot of scripted shows, and we did formats of shows like Cracker, like Queer as Folk,
ABC.
which was on ABC, and Queer as Folk, which went on Showtime and was pretty successful as a format. But I would watch a lot of times as I would identify the scripted shows, they really would get lost in translation. And The Office was a show that I fell in love with and, you know, thought it was just a brilliant piece of entertainment. I watched it on vacation and came across it while changing the channels and was arrested by what was going on the screen and its kind of faux documentary and this strange David Brent played by Ricky Gervais. And, you know, was able to find somebody in Greg Daniels who could just bring it to life, understood what was so fantastic and honest and raw and real about it in the UK, but bring it into a totally American environment and its own voice. And then the wonderful cast that, you know, kind of defines that show and just has taken it to such unbelievable levels.
And now, Michael the Magic will attempt to escape from extreme bondage. Can he do it? I don't see how he can.
The big question I have is basically about creativity. You made enormous strides in bringing shows in from England. A lot of people have, you know, borrowed stuff done around the world. But the success of NBC and any network is going to be homegrown creativity. Are you concentrating on that, or are you still waiting for that gift from abroad?
Well, I think definitely we're looking for the best ideas wherever they come from. And we have such great talent that are coming into the network right now. We're working with Norman Lear, who hasn't worked in a primetime network television show in a while, and doing a great original idea of his and a younger writer named Nina Coleman. We're doing stuff with Brett Ratner, who's directing a great piece of original material based on a New York cop and a book he wrote.
All you really need, this is my experience in my career, is one office every year. Not two, not six, just one hit in October, maybe a little hit in the spring, another hit the following October, and you become #1 in 3 years.
From your mouth. I'll take it in small doses, but I really do want us to be #1, and I want to continue the great association we have with quality, which is the most fun part about NBC.
So are you running late night as well? You are, right?
Yes, yes.
So how are you going to handle that situation where NBC has announced that Jay Leno is retiring in 2009 and Conan O'Brien is taking over? We all know that Jay Leno does not want to leave in 2009, whether you admit it or not, we all know it. So this seems like a difficult business challenge for you.
I think it's probably the most, you know, difficult one we face, because I think that Jay is a superstar and an asset that we want part of NBC forever.
And he's really rolling in his time period.
And he's unbelievable in his time period, and we want him part of the network. And Conan is a brilliant talent and a comedic voice, and we want him
but the history
succeeding.
When Jack Parr went from late night to prime time, when Johnny Carson went from late night to prime time, didn't work. These guys work at 11:30. So if you're thinking about moving Jay Leno to prime time to make room for Conan O'Brien, that runs a lot of risk, does it not?
There are risks and there are options that go beyond just prime time. And I think what's great about being part of...
Because one of your competitors would probably love to have one of the two of them.
I'm sure that our competitors
I smell that pretty well.
I think the bottom line for us is how do we keep both of these guys happy and on our network?
And when does that happen? When do you make that decision? I mean, books have been written about this.
Yes, I know. Yes, the process is ongoing.
But is there a date that you have to make a decision?
I think that we are in the process that you have read about and you alluded to, and that's what's happening right now.
Well, you know one thing I've now noticed, you're very good at this because you've given me no answer. So you've been very politely not answering.
I don't have
can you?
Yeah, no, but I don't have it. I wish I did. I wish I could.
So what do you have? I know that the show following Heroes, which is called...
we have some new shows coming. Our Monday night is really exciting. We have Chuck on at 8 o'clock, which is from Josh Schwartz and McGee, and has this unbelievable young star, Zach Levy.
Without selling every program as each one's going to be a hit, which is going to be the hit? So we can see it next year. I know you like them all like your children. Okay. They're all equal. They're great. Which is the hit? Just tell me the hit.
Okay. The hit today.
No, the hit tomorrow when it comes out.
When it comes out, which is the hit? You know what? It's like love your children equally. You know.
Oh, I said that all the time too.
They're twins.
But what's the show that's following Heroes? Isn't that the one that's pretty important? The long form.
There's also Bionic Woman.
Oh, Bionic Woman. You stole that from ABC.
That's on Wednesday.
I put that on ABC.
You know what? Last time I saw networks used to be licensees, especially when you ran it. Now we're forced in this ownership position.
You owned it. That's right.
Exactly. You know,
when's the $6 Million Man coming on?
They're doing that as a big movie.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, believe me, we would have been building The Companion right now, but they're pursuing that one as a motion picture.
Which is the turkey? Which is the one that you say, oh my God, how did that get it? How did Kevin
They're all on ABC.
Oh, very good.
They're all on ABC, sadly.
So who'll be the number?
Sadly, you know what? I like our fall. Our best show and our biggest hit is definitely Sunday Night Football.
I was about to say, that was a good move. The NBC pulls up from 4th to 3rd, which would be good, right?
You'll have me back.
No, NBC will have you back. Who is going to move down to 4th? Who do you have to play?
I see Fox in 4th this fall. I don't see where they go over the course of the year.
What is the big hit comedy on the 4 networks? Which one is like getting all the buzz?
New comedies, they're kind of not, because it's Cavemen is one of the new comedies. It just doesn't have, it's got more like, can they really make a show out of those Geico ads? So it's not, there's no kind of comedy with super buzz, but I would say on our air, Bionic Woman and Chuck, and on their air, Pushing Daisies, and on...
Yeah, Pushing Daisies, I hear, is pretty good.
Yeah, and then, The Reaper on CW, and what else am I hearing? And maybe Kane on CBS. And Fox, I'd say Waiting for American Idol.
Clearly, the spotlight is on you. Do you enjoy it? Do you accept it? Are you making sure you're being a good boy so you don't get caught doing things you shouldn't be doing? How are you handling it?
I'm a little younger than my peers in similar jobs, and I'm kind of out there and very honest about who I am in a very real and public way. And with that has come some attention. I think it's new and it's a challenge, and it's actually one of the things that I didn't quite feel totally prepared for. But I've never understood or been in a position where people are writing about you. I've always been in a situation with the press.
How about that they laugh at every joke you give?
Well, that's something until they write about it.
Are you understanding that people are saying things to you that they may not mean because of who you are?
Do you know what? I'm aware of it, and I feel blessed that I'm in that unique situation. And it is what it is, and it helps get our shows out, and it helps us hopefully in a positive way. And I have to just not take the negative too personally.
Well, I will tell you, I love this interview because you're speaking. I mean, it's something that's in my DNA. I know exactly what you're going through. I know what you have to answer me, and how you have to be, and you've been very candid. And I can't wait to do it again.
Good.
We'll look at the scorecard and say, hey, you were right.
You were right, exactly. We'll see. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
I really appreciate it.
That was fun.
Yeah, excellent. I enjoy that. No, I know. I need more advice now. You're like, what are you doing Tuesday?
Still to come, Los Angeles Mayor Antonio Villaraigosa in the hot seat.
You had a very public relationship with a newscaster, a very attractive woman who was reporting on you consistently.
And more with Gene Simmons. Next on Conversations with Michael Eisner.